We're glad to have you back. You're watching TVC News at 10. The latest ranking released by Transparency International shows that Nigeria has dropped 3 places and scored lower in number of points than in its previous year's record. This indicates that corruption is perceived to have worsened in the country within the last 1 year. The fresh ranking shows that Nigeria scored 25 over 100, which is 1 point less than its 26 points in the previous year. The report indicates that Nigeria is now 149 out of 180 countries, a record that is 3 steps lower than its rank of 146 in 2019.
With an average score of 2, Sub-Saharan Africa is the lowest performing region on the Corruption Perception Index, showing little improvement from previous years and underscoring a need for urgent action. According to this latest ranking, Nigeria is now the second most corrupt country in West Africa, with Guinea-Bissau the only country more corrupt than Nigeria in the sub-region. In Africa, only 12 countries are perceived to be more corrupt than Nigeria: Zimbabwe, Chad, Eritrea, Burundi, Congo, Libya, Equatorial Guinea, Sudan, while Somalia and South Sudan are ranked the most corrupt nation on earth. The factors used to aggregate the data were absence of transparency in the COVID-19 response, nepotism in public service appointment, lack of adequate anti-corruption legal framework, prevalence of bribery and extortion, and security sector corruption.
That report suggested that so much money were taken as a result of the response fund and, of course, school feeding program. And they specifically mentioned school feeding program over the lockdown.
It is believed that with necessary legislation in place, it will help address some of the defects responsible for the decline in ranking. The National Assembly is urged to speed up deliberations and passage of relevant anti-corruption laws, and the presidency should assent to these laws as quickly as possible.
Audit bill, the process of crime bill, all those are anti-corruption agencies. The whistleblower policy, it's a policy, right? It's not yet a law. What are we doing as the executive to ensure that?
To reduce corruption and better respond to future crises, Transparency International recommends that government must strengthen oversight institutions, ensure open and transparent contracting, promote civic space, and publish relevant data and guarantee access to information.
Joining me live from Abuja is the Executive Director of CIS LAC, Awal Rafsanjani. Mr. Rafsanjani, welcome to TVC News at 10. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers.
Yes, Nigeria drops to 149 out of 180 countries in the corruption index released by Transparency International. What's the implication of this poor performance yet again on the corruption index for the country on the international community?
Thank you very much. There are some very glaring, obvious implications for this rating, unless the Nigerian government honestly and sincerely, put in place mechanism to address some of those numerous gaps in our governance architecture. The image of Nigeria and Nigerians out there, even in Africa, our neighboring countries, is such that if you're a Nigerian, you're already a potential criminal. They see you as a, money launderer. They see you as all sorts of negative names. This is not good for us. Secondly, the way and manner in which even our embassies and higher commission in abroad exhibit, this corrupt tendency there in terms of people who want to visa or who want to renew their even passport, those Nigerians that want to renew their passport or want to get, a new passport, the level of corruption displayed there and extortion is not sending a good signal. Thirdly, people who come from abroad to do business in Nigeria, when they encounter extortion and corruption and bribery, in the process, it is not also sending a good signal to us. But I believe that if we have, honest and sincere government official can look at the problem highlighted instead of dismissing it or abusing people or name calling, I think we would be better off. So Transparency International, and Transparency and CISLAC are happy to sit down to support government in Nigeria and other civil society organizations that have been working on the corruption issues. But the problem is that they are not even interested. They just want to continue to do propaganda. They have forgotten that Nigerians are going through this hell of corruption. If you are looking for a job now, if you don't have money to bribe, you can't get that job. If you are appointed and you need confirmation in the assembly, you have to pay bribe. To even get committee chairman in the assembly, you have to pay bribe. To get promotion that you are due for, you have to pay bribe. To get your entitlement, you have to pay bribe. To even get driving license, you have to pay bribe. In admission into university, you have to pay bribe. So Nigerians are seeing this on daily basis.
So is it a problem of weak institutions or weak laws?
I think we have factors, several numerous factors. One has to do with some of the lack of enabling legal framework. Like, for example, if you are talking about assets recovery, a lot of assets have been recovered locally and internationally. Nobody can give you account of all the gold, the jewelries, the cars, the dollars and pounds and estates and houses that have been confiscated by one government agency or the other. Nobody can give account to that. And that is why even the acting EFCC chair, Ibrahim Magu, government itself accused him of not accounting for that, which means that they themselves, they acknowledge there are some gaps in our legal framework. So instead for the government to move on to ensure that we have a legal framework that can at least ensure effective management of our recovered assets, they are not doing that. We need whistleblowing for safe reporting of Nigerians who want to expose corruption. We don't have that. Freedom that we have as a law is being disrespected. We have public procurement law. Nigerian government, they are disregarding that. Even recently, the money that came into Nigeria from the Abacha loot, in hiring the consultant, the government plotted the public procurement law and went and gave somebody else who did not qualify. These are obvious things that if you really want to stop corruption, you want the rating to improve, you need to fix those problems.
All right, Mr. Rafsanjani, we hope the spirit of the law will be made strong as much as the letter is. We thank you very much for your contribution on TVC News at 10.
Thank you very much.